Hello everyone and welcome to day 2 of the Sydney Millions main event. 460 entries entered this and we are down now just to 110 runners. $805,000 is what was in the prize pool, and first we're walking away with a very tidy $178,500. Have a little look around the room and we will check out some of the chip leaders of the event. On our stream table we can just see to the left there, chip leader at the moment, High Key, one of the best personalities, 778,000, currently sitting on good for 155. Robert Demelian 728, Adam Agresta 688 in his stack. Nerlin still holding strong at 554,000, 110 bigs. As he has a little drink there, and last in 5th is Stephen Gergis, currently sat on 499. Joined as always by our anchor, who's been seeing us through very well here, Chris Waddy. How are we going, Chris?
Well, Jamie, exciting. Main event day 2, it all comes down to this 6 flights. Another guarantee beaten, more than 770,000 after a 750k guarantee. Must be happy with that, and congratulations to the team at King's Room. And what a feature table lineup we've got. This is a treat. In seat 1, High Key. Like you said, no better personalities in the game, or very few rather, can compete with the excitability that he both exudes, as well as how good it feels to watch him play, because it's just gamble, gamble, his very own words. And not gambling too much here. He's got a reasonable hand to find some action with. The ace king off, and finds a big blind defend with the 7-4 of clubs. And High Key flopping the best of it. Jamie, this is exciting. I'm so happy. We are day 2 of the main, playing down to the end of level 12 of the day, or the top 18 runners, I believe.
At the moment, just because the field is so big and the structures are just too good, as we keep saying, it's a little bit open. I think that if we get down to about 4 tables, then we will probably be looking to break then. But it's a little bit open at this stage, depending on how some of the field goes. But ideally, we'd hope to get to about 4 tables for day 3, which will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. But who knows? We could get there much quicker, and we could be just taking a while to get this field down. So we'll see how some of the play goes out.
I absolutely see what you mean. As of current, there are 110 players remaining from this field of 460. And the average stack I can report at the moment is exactly 50 big blinds. So there is plenty of playability here in this one. And you look at those stacks at the top of your screen, right on line with that average I just mentioned, but the majority there in the hands of High Key with 160 bigs. That's a mammoth stack, but certainly nothing to sneeze at. Those other counts, 58 bigs there with Clive, 42 Michael Levy, as well as a sprinkle of 68 there for Hannah Lee, and 40, 32, 22 and 24. When the short stack at the table still has 22 bigs, you absolutely know that it's a strong structure. And like you said, we'll be lucky to get anywhere near the final 3 tables tonight. So if we get to 4, we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to be aiming for the early hours of the morning. Nothing too late, but I would imagine probably about 1, 2 o'clock. But we'll obviously see what's going on. We'll keep you updated on the rest of the field with some other busts out and some chip leaders as we progress through to the further breaks, and we'll try and continue to get a nice range of guests into the booth and get some expert analysis.
Absolutely. It's been a treat over the last few days to welcome the likes of Didier Guerin, as well as Colin Tran. We had Michael Levy, we had Liam Jehu. We had so many names pop in and out throughout the course of the last few days, and no doubt we'll be getting a few more special guests in. Again, the downside is, well, at least the upside of busting from this tournament is there's an opportunity to jump into comms, but no doubt these players would rather be running deep. But for those notable names that do find themselves on the rail, we'd love to welcome them into the booth for their expert analysis, as we see Michael here open up the action with 3s, and Yin Ting Lai finds a 3-bet with the ace-5-0 out of the small, and Michael does defend, and correctly so. And It's an interesting board, this one, the Queen 9-9. You're not feeling too concerned with pocket threes, given it's a paired board, and given that we can see that Michael's still ahead, but as soon as Yinting finds some aggression now and potentially on future streets, it's going to be harder and harder to hold on to those threes. But for now, he comes along with the correct call, does Michael Levy. He's got to fade a counterfeit. So he's got to fade a queen, an ace, or a 5. And there's a 7, a safe card still. You'd imagine if he felt he was good on the flop, that a turn bet here shouldn't deter him unless we see a real increase in sizing here from Yinting Lai. And with 13 bigs behind and just a half pot bet to run with, I don't really know what other options he has here. Again,
get it in or give up.
Yeah. This is a time bank chip. Again, for our viewers just tuning in, there's a 30-second shot clock in place, which makes for great viewability. It's been a treat for our stream over the course of the last 6 or so days to have these shot clocks in place. It means the action's been pretty fast-paced, and even in periods where there hasn't been too many coolers or big action hands, we've been getting through them quickly. As we see another bet here, more than half his stack in the middle, and Michael's surely got to be thinking that this is pretty strong, you'd think.
Yeah, this is pretty tough.
When a player's put more than half their chips in the middle, non all in, it looks like they're trying to string you along with a call. And like I said, that increase in aggression is enough to get it through. You can see there Michael did have the best hand, but after your 3-bet pre, lead flop, and lead again on the turn on a board that reads Queen 9-9-7, pocket threes don't look so great. And then to have this non-all-in bet on the turn,
so we take over the time, like,
does look a little bit
it'll be automatic. So
like an
as
invite.
long as I can see them,
It's like a please
I'll
call
just
me bet.
let you know, yeah.
Michael, you could argue most of the time that would be a good fold.
Yeah, but
As you were saying, some of the bigger names, so last I checked, Liam G, who still is in, unfortunately did max late today, but didn't stand the test of time. He was hanging around,
45
and I just texted him to see if we get in the booth, but unfortunately he is leaving. He said he hasn't eaten today, so unfortunately not hanging around. Would have loved to get him back in.
What a shame. Maybe he'll get a feed and feel like wandering back in, because there are some other events on today, of course. Sunday, the 2nd of November, here at the St George Leagues Club, here at the King's Room in Sydney. Main event day 2, of course, this is what you're watching. There was a 450 big stack that began at 2 o'clock. Registration still open until 7. Plenty of a chance to get yourself into it. And then the lockdown and the PLO rotation. We'll start with the lockdown. Both of those events starting at 6:30. Lockdown's a $250 buy-in with a 60k start stack, 20-minute levels, no re-entries. Lockdown means you're locked out as soon as you enter, no second chances. Record prize pool for that one is $20,000, not too shabby for a 250 buy-in. Again, that 450 big stack that started at 2 with the rego still open till 7, that's a 60k start stack with 25-minute levels and a 63k record prize pool. We'll get you the numbers on that one in a moment to let you know what the field's looking like there, but we'll tune into this hand first as we see Guillaume open 3 big blinds out of the cutoff, and you can understand the sizing up with how deep these stacks are. Maybe 2 big blinds you feel like is just too cheap with the stacks at these sizes. So he opens it up to 3, and Hannah finds a large 3-bet, but rightly so, out of the small blind with the ace-jack off. And Guillaume decides to let go of his cards. Sees that as a very strong bet out of the small from Hannah. She's got the second chip lead there, more than 70 bigs. But High Key has got nearly a third of the chips on the table, Jamie.
I think just sat here, I mean, I've got so many things, unfortunately, to do. I would love to just watch this table play out between High Key and Levy on the table. I think it's going to be a nice and entertaining start for this. We've got many names, as we said, around the room, so I'm sure that we're going to be circling through some great characters on this table. And we said lots of playability. It's going to be good seeing this at some deeper stack depths. Some of the other streams we've been looking at still good stack depths, but more of a final table. But we're going to get a good spread of this main event throughout the course of the day.
Absolutely, and this is going to run deep tomorrow, you would imagine, as well. So it's a 6 o'clock start tomorrow night for the main event, day 3. And on the mini-main, the stacks were a little bit shorter. A couple of the players with most of the chips in play left everyone else with sub-10 bigs at some points earlier on in the final table. But tomorrow's main event, you get what you pay for. $2,000 entry, $770,000 prize pool. There will be deep stacks galore right there. And I just mentioned that big stack earlier. I can report that we're just about 1 entry away from cracking that 50k guarantee. And again, still plenty of entries remaining. Correction there. I looked at a number earlier, and that must have been before Rego locked out. So this main event actually tipped over the 800k mark, so well and truly destroying that $750,000 guarantee by a factor of 55,000 in the end. Thank you, Jamie, for bringing that to my attention. But one thing that has stayed consistent is those 6-figure prizes for both first and second place. 120k for second, 178 for first. Pretty healthy, but a long way to go yet, with plenty of play still to come.
Yeah, one thing that we've also done, I say we, I mean it's King's management and Tal and that lot, in terms of some of these payouts. We have just flattened them a little bit. I think a bit of feedback. I mean, it's really hard to get prize pools right. It's definitely one of the things that everyone always wants to have a talk about, and obviously a lot of it is probably influenced by their position at the time when they're having a talk. But they have been flattened a little bit, so we've still got an absolutely huge payout at the top, but giving a little bit more to that sort of middly positions and those last 2 or 3 tables, so that there is a bit more return on the investment for that point. So had really good feedback in regards to those payouts this week, so I'm really pleased to sort of hear the players giving some positive feedback for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at this, it's about 22% of the prize pool going the way of first place, but that's pretty standard for a field of around the 400, 500 mark. It's more when you get up around 1,000, 2,000 entries where you see anything sub 20% going the way of first place. And generally across a lot of prize pools, you get a second place prize that's about a 60%, worth about 60% of first place, so it's quite a significant jump. Here it's closer to the 70% mark, about 67.5%, so not too much of a disparity percentage-wise between first and second. Still plenty to play for up top, but nothing too ridiculous, not too steep. So I like that. Obviously, to make a deep run in this event, you want to be rewarded even if you don't finish with the top prize, and the top 13 players will walk away with a 5-figure cash, so that's always friendly. Final table will lock up at least $18,900. Some real big numbers there from this 2K buy-in. Over 800,000 in the prize pool in this main event. So again, that big stack, that $450 buy-in, 25-minute levels, Rego open till 7. We've now cracked the guarantee on that one, just a touch over 50,000 and counting, so plenty more entries expected in the hour and 45 minutes that you can get yourself into that one. And the last event to mention, of course, we mentioned the lockdown at 6:30. Also at 6:30, the PLO rotation, the PLO 4-5 bomb pot. That just sounds exciting.
Yeah, I think that's also going to be pretty carnage. They were discussing exactly what was going to trigger the bomb pot, and they weren't just sure if it's going to be a black ace or any ace on the flop.
Wow.
And I think they're going with any ace, because if you're in the 4-5 bomb, then you're in it for a laugh. So why not just lean into that? I think.
So that's confirmed. So there will be so it's going to alternate between PLO 4 and PLO 5, right?
Yeah.
And then when an ace comes on the flop, it's a bomb pot?
I believe so.
And if there's 2 aces on the flop, then it's a double board bomb pot.
I don't know about
I just made that up. Don't worry, don't quote me on that, but it's an idea.
Let's go.
And if there's 3 aces on the flop,
that will bring out some of the DJs.
Then we'll bring out like the dancers, there'll be jugglers doing fireworks.
Very
and then,
good.
Yeah, so.
All right, I'm going to love you and leave you guys. Enjoy the stream. We'll try and bring you some stuff from around the room and other people in the box. And can't wait to see this one all play down. Cheers, Chris.
Thank you, Jamie. And if you can, bring me a guest, because I don't want to ride solo for too long. I'll do my best, but the people will be sick of me after a little while because we're in for the long haul here in this main event. Just losing 3 players in the roughly 15 minutes since our stream began. A long way to go. High key, he's kept pretty quiet so far in terms of his vocals. He got in amongst the action with the Ace King early on, so not quiet in terms of his play. Absolutely, you can tell by that stack at the top of your screen. 160 big blinds, and Clive from gun +1 bumps up the action to 12,000. Once again, these blinds are 2,000, 5,000 with a 5,000 big blind ante. And the action folding around. Michael Larson, don't imagine he'll be coming along with the 6-4 off. Just soaks up a little bit of time before making that decision. And it's now down to the blinds. 𝗣𝗬𝗬𝗢𝗪 clears the way, and the high key with a 7-5 suited. If he folds this hand, I will... I'll do a lot of things because I doubt he's going to fold. I was going to say I'll commentate without a shirt on, but that's not going to make any difference. It's someone else in a mask. It's not high key if we saw him fold that. 2 live cards, 2 suited connected cards, and he's found a pretty nice flop. Bottom pair, a few straight draws, and you're not super loving that with jacks against the big blind, but with an overpair to the board, you cannot be asking for too much more when you wake up with a hand that many regard as their least favourite. And he's got a c-bet here, and I don't imagine high key's going to go anywhere, not for 2 big blinds. Getting an excellent price to not only call, but just bump up a raise here, and this can just help him take control of the pot. And Clive there already, alarm bells ringing. He could be up against some spade draws, but wants to perhaps keep in some of high key's bluffs as we go to a turn card. That's another scare card for Clive, but after that raise on the flop from high key, you're not putting him on too many aces. But again, maybe he can check back here for pot control after getting check raised on the flop. There's a part of you that thinks, oh gosh, I'm not going to get check raised again, am I, if I bet on the turn, but can't be too swayed. But does find a check. River cards a 4. So backdoor flush does complete. Some straight draws also find their way to the finish line, and high key just having a look here. If he'd continued the turn, it would be more reputable that he's found a flush. I feel like if he's check raising a flop with any kind of backdoor club draw and finds a club on the turn, he could maybe fire another barrel or elect to realise equity. So regardless, he finds a check, and Clive now might be happy to check back and take this pot, or given the action, maybe sense that high key's not as strong and not as strong as he seems, and he's more than happy to take down the pot with the jacks there. Checks it back on the river. High key there, looking up at the sky, maybe pondering whether he could have been a little more aggressive. But regardless, the best hand holds, and Clive more than 67 big blinds to his name. High key dips a little, but still more than double the next best stack. High key did not just check raise for pot control. I was referring to Clive about checking back. I think I was not referring to high key when I was talking about pot control. Does not exist for high key sometimes. He's an absolute entertainer. Now Michael Larson in the hijack, ace-4 of hearts. Finds an open and high key with a 3-bet candidate out of the small blind. Does elect to just call. Very pretty hand, and no doubt High is happy to see a flop with that. Michael Levy with a suited connected holding as well. A hand he'd believe to be live a lot of the time out of the big blind, happy to pay the little extra to see a flop. And Michael's actually got the best of it there with that pair of sixes. No hearts for either High Key or Mike Larson. It's not a terrible board to lead out if you're the big blind, even if he didn't hit. And he does take that cue to run with it. Does Michael Levy. Again, it's usually pretty standard practice to check it over to the pre-flop aggressor, but on these kind of boards that favor you more, favor your range out of the big blind, even if you haven't hit, you can mix in some bets into the aggressor, because that's you can say that's my flop, not yours. 9 high board. Not going to favor Mike Larson's range there, so Michael Levy does have a stab and correctly gets it through. So nicely played there from Michael Levy. He's also one of the names I had the pleasure of spending some time with in the commentary box. He offered some insight just a couple of days ago. And once again, I am Chris Waddy, your anchor. I had Jamie kick us off earlier, narrating over the top of his own footage from around the room, getting us up to speed with what's going on. Again, a field of 460 entries. And that generated a prize pool of $805,000. Now, Michael Larson here, back-to-back raises with the ace-king off, and this time he might just take this one down. Or not. Clive deciding to defend the 8-5 offsuit. Again, getting a good price, just the raise to 2 bigs, and he's got a deep stack to work with. And when you flop a pair like that, and again, it's these kind of boards we're talking about, where of course Clive has hit, but Michael hasn't. And the big blind's going to be hitting those boards at a higher frequency than a pre-flop raiser. So again, Clive could have led out, but instead Mike decides to continue with some aggression, hoping that Clive has potentially missed and he can just take it down here and now, but I don't think Clive's going anywhere. I don't think raising does too much here. You're just folding out better hands and, sorry, folding out worse hands and only getting called by better hands. So I like just flatting there from Clive, and that's not a good card for Mike. It just gets worse and worse as the big line just checks again, throwing some rope to Mike, who I think might just have to check back on that turn card. It's just far too connected with a variety of hands that Clive can have here. So we see Clive there also with a blocker to the straight. So yep, Mike does make the correct check back, finds a king on the river though. So gets bailed out of that one. Again, if you're Mike, you want to be checking back the turn there a lot of the time, because if you're Clive, you could find a few check raises there. The double flush draw. Straight. Also playing into the possibilities of hands you can have. And Clive finds the jam now. Wow, what a play. Clubs get there on the river. Neither play out with a club, so Clive unblocking it really does often work against him, but he's taking it in his stride to represent a variety of hands. And this purely operates as a bluff catcher now if you're Michael Larson. He's going to throw a time bank chip into the middle. What a play from Clive. Again, like we said, he's got a pair, he's got blockers to a straight. Maybe he sensed some weakness from Mike checking back the river, and it's even checking back the turn, sorry, and it's even crazier to target this card because Mike knows that a king is going to be in his range. Well, Mike knows that Clive knows that Michael's going to have a lot of kings here, that open pre-flop. So he's thinking, if you know I have a king, then why are you jamming? It must mean you can beat my king. And there's a bit of leveling going on, and this would be a fantastic call if Mike makes it because it's an excellent bluff. And it's a matter of wait and see. There's another time bank chip in his hands, poised to go in the middle. It's really rough for Mike because he just loses to any two-pair combination, like anything like 9-8, 9-4, 8-4. There's just so much that he can lose to in that regard. There's a lot of Jack-10 offs that get there, 10-6s, 5-6. All these hands can come along from the big blind, and yet he finds the call. He picks him off, and it's correct. What a call from Michael Larson. And what a play from Clive. Again, he picked the right spot. It's a great time to bluff. Because with a single pair, it takes a lot of courage to make a call like that on such a dynamic board. Flush draws, straight draws, an endless number of two-pair combinations that you can have out of the big blind. And Mike picks him off. And obviously, I can sit here and talk about all these possible hands, all the ways that he can lose, all the ways that he can be beaten, and all these reasons not to find a call there. But there's obviously going to be more factors in play, such as history between the two players, reads, live reads, information and intel you might have picked up from elsewhere. So again, it's not all black and white. It's not everything I just spoke through. There's always something more to the story. But in the end, I'd say it's good poker all round. It was an excellent timing to find a bluff there from Clive. But Michael picked him off. Top pair, top kicker. And those two, they're doing battle in an entertaining hand, to say the least. So Yin Ting Lai opening to two bigs under the gun with pocket eights and kind of flatting right next to him with the Queen Jack of clubs. And Michael Levy here with the King 10-0. There's a bit of extra money in the pot if he wants to find a squeeze here with a button 3-bet. But he elects to call, see it in position with the King 10 off. Clive gets out of the way, and Guillaume here with an excellent price to peel a flop with the 6-5-0. Connected hand. Hoping to spike some two pairs or straights perhaps. But right now, Ting is ahead in terms of the percentages, but sorry, in terms of the best hand pre-flop, but was behind on percentages. And Michael Levy, easy as you like. King, 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 three of a kind with this flop, and it checks through, and rightly played from Michael. And now he's going to be praying that either Yinting or Hannah has an ace in their hand and elects to put some money into the pot. But Hannah's picked up a nice draw here. She's got the second up flush draw as well as a straight draw. Never easy with any draw on a paired board, but with a flush and a straight draw in a possession on a board, on a flop that checks through, it's going to be tough to let go of this. It's a sizable bet from Yin Ting betting 32,000 into 47, so just over 2/3 pot that sizing. But there, Hannah coming along with the Queen, Jack of Clubs, that combo draw. And now Michael Levy here sitting there with 3 of a kind after a sizable bet and now a flat. So does your brain ponder perhaps there's some King Queens, King Jacks, Ace Kings even in the mix, Aces, 3s. There's a few boats that could be there that could leave your King 10 looking not as strong as we can see that it is. Question is raise or call? He does call. And Yin Ting can't be feeling great now, getting 2 callers with his pocket 8s. Jack on the river. Not quite the card that Hannah would have been hoping to hit. She does make a pair, but she's not going to feel great about it. No club, no 10, not quite what she would have wanted. Lucky she didn't hit a 10 because Michael would have boated up and she would have been sitting there with a straight. And it goes check, check through to Michael, and now he'd probably be feeling a little bit better about his hand given that river action. But it's a sizable pot out there. He's got less than a pot size bet behind. So he bets an amount here that could still get called by some worse hands. If he were to jam, you might only be inviting better hands to call. So I like this from Michael, betting about half his stack. Hannah there with a jack, can't be loving this. And doesn't. Lets it go, and Michael Levy flopping trips and navigating an interesting hand. Considering Yin Ting was the aggressor, Hannah had all these outs. Yet it was Michael holding up there on the river. Once again, I'm Chris Waddy, your anchor here for day 2 of the King's Room Sydney Millions main event. $2,000 buy-in, $805,000 prize pool, $178,000 going to our winner, $178,500. $120,000 going to our runner-up, and a min cash of $4,000. We will be in the money at the top 47 players. And as you can see at the top right of your screen, just 104 remain, 101 remain now from this field of 460. Michael Larson again getting amongst the action with the ace-jack off, and 𝗣𝗔𝗬𝗢𝗢 there with a chance to possibly find a 3-bet with this kind of hand.
25.
And he does. I like this. Ace-4 suited operates really well with a 3-bet. Can get a lot of hands like better aces, like ace-7, ace-8, ace-9 to clear the way, even some ace-10. And with that sizing, probably not ace-jack. Michael probably stick around. But not loving it with the ace-jack off. Now on any ace-high board. Oh, and he does find a fold. That is why that's such an excellent 3-bet. I said it can get some better aces to fold. Anything in the realm of ace-7 to ace-9, and I said maybe some ace-10s, but even ace-jack offsuit. Not loving going out of position here against the 3-bet. He's just picked up a few chips and wants to hang on to them. Fair enough. Once again, we are also on YouTube. Find us at King's Premium Poker Room. That is the name of the YouTube channel, King's Premium Poker Room. We're also on Twitch. Same name, except remove all the spaces and make everything lowercase. It's all one word, King's Premium Poker Room. A bit slower, King's Premium Poker Room. 40 viewers on YouTube. Just about 50 across Facebook. If you'd like to say hello, please do so. Leave a comment in the chat. Would love to have a chat with a few of our viewers. Leave your main event predictions. Who on this table, if any, can go on to win this main event? So we have an interesting hand brewing here. Michael opens up the king nine off from the hijack, and 𝗣𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 decides against 3-betting the ace-queen suited. Could come back to bite him here as Michael there flops top pair. And Hannah obviously there in the big blind defending the jack 9. But yeah, 𝗣𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢, surprised he didn't find a 3-bet with the ace-queen suited. Probably would have taken down this pot pre-flop. Now instead, Michael gets to see a flop and see top pair in his favour. And 𝗣𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 here with a tough decision. He's got a backdoor royal flush draw perhaps, and it's not out of the equation. We had a royal flush on this table just a couple of days ago. That was the event on Thursday night, the Summit freeze-out. 𝗣𝗔𝗬𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 winning that one. 𝗣𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 coming along on the flop, but I imagine that this turn card isn't going to look too good for him, and so he lets go of his hand, and Michael there takes it down. And I think you can put that pot down to the lack of 3-bet pre-flop. You want to be putting in money with your strong hands, and ace-queen of spades is certainly in the upper echelon, especially on the button. You want to play big pots on the button. So charging other strong hands and folding out some weaker hands like king 9, or at least looking to charge them for it. Make king 9 pay a little more if they want to see a flop. Anyway, we move on. Obviously still quite a while away from the money, and now the ace-queen of spades falls into the hands of HighKey. And the action has folded to him, so safe to say he'll be opening. I wonder what sizing he'll work with off his 148 big blinds. Will it be 2, 2.5, maybe 3, 2.8 perhaps? It's 3. He's raised to 3 big blinds, does HighKey. No customers that far. Yinting not going to love the ace-3 off. Oh. The 2 case aces are both in the hands of Michael Larson here in the big blind. And there'll be some leveling going on. HighKey will know that his image at the table is going to be loosey-goosey, so when Mike 3-bets here, HighKey might be inclined to stick around, feeling like he's being targeted, and could even pump in a 4-bet. But he does just decide to call, does HighKey, and we go to a flop. Michael there making it 9 bigs out of the big blind with his aces. And that is certainly an exciting flop. Michael Larson with the top over pair and HighKey with the nut flush draw. Chips are gonna go in the middle here. Does HighKey find a raise? That's a 6 big blind bet, so relatively sizable. As we go to a turn, it's a king. Don't imagine this slows any action down though, as Mike should continue here again, and it depends how big he wants to go. He's got less than a pot size bet behind. It's, I think that was 50 for 65. And HighKey just snap calls. Not sure if he's looking at how much Mike has behind, because he's now going to have just a bet. Oh, that is a flush completing river. Michael is not going to be loving it, but with just 10 bigs behind, just 52,000 and a pot of just shy of 300,000, High Key is not going anywhere. Snap calls, and we lose Mike Larson. What a way to go with aces against High Key of all people with the ace queen of spades. Flops a flush draw. We knew he wasn't going anyway. Not with the chip lead.
Yeah. He shuffle on the flush draw complete board.
Lead open, 6 to 7.
And High Key, it's a case of the rich get richer. He could be the first player in this tournament to reach the million chip mark. And there's still a long way to go.
You knew you read.
See the board. Because he reached, I know he had pocket ace or pocket king.
Or kings. Or you lose kings.
Yeah, I know he reached, he had a pocket king or pocket ace like this. And then I want to see the pot, see how. But the pot made me very hard.
But you hit anyways. River.
Yeah, but it put it very cheap for me. 30 grand, 55, too cheap.
Yeah, chip for you. Chip
Yeah.
for your chip. Chip for your stacks.
Amanda there, our dealer, with a wry smile as she enjoys the presence of High Key next to her.
Lead open, 6 to 7.
Certainly an entertaining player. Is putting it, to call him that is putting it lightly. So average stack at the moment is 278,000. And High Key has more than 3 times that amount. Now we got hijack open with the 10-9 off from Guillaume. So not raising on the button with ace-queen suited, but finding a raise from the hijack with 10-9 off. And Hannah Lee defending from the button with 10-9 off. So a couple of interesting decisions there. And Cameron Chen with a hand like King Jack of Hearts could elect a 3-bet here with some money in the middle. Potentially take it down pre, but happy to see a flop for just one big blind more.
It's not on the floor.
Yeah, and my
Where the cable
a bit
stuff
here,
are.
but not too bad.
As Amanda teases us before putting out a flop.
It's on me too.
It serves
8 to
Cameron pretty well with top pair, second top kicker, and a backdoor flush draw. And Guillaume and Hannah drawing very thin. And Hannah finds a lead here. So Guillaume checks, Cameron checking before him, and Hannah takes a stab. Cameron not going anywhere with top pair, but Guillaume there with absolutely nothing to work with. Lets it go. Not happy with himself. Repeating 3 on the turn does not change much. Hannah here, does she continue telling the story that she's got something with another bet? Cameron getting her some rope to continue. She bets 25,000. And again, don't imagine Cameron's going anywhere. Don't know how many flats pre-flop on the button contain a 3. That would at least lead flop, so hard to give her credit for much. That card does change things though. Cameron will probably check a 3rd time as diamonds get there. Any hands containing an ace now get there. And Hannah just gives up on the hand and immediately mucks. And she slips down a few chips. Cameron there picks up a nice little pot. Gets himself up above the 60 big blind mark. And above the average stack.
Yeah, I was just making sure it was 6, sorry. It's alright, I counted it from there. counter while we were doing the other hand. 134. I was just checking those. On hold.
Clive now waking up to queens.
Two races.
And bumps it up to just shy of 2.5 bigs. And here we go. Here's some action incoming. Guillaume here has ace king of diamonds in the low jack. And he'll probably be 3-betting, yep, and makes it a nice sizing, just under 3x.
5 fold.
And goes to 31,000. That's quite a nice size to 3-bet with in position against the original raiser. And Cameron folding a few diamonds in his hand, and Ali clearing the way with a suited ace after it goes raise and then 3-bet. And Clive here could elect to 4-bet with queens here. He's out of position, so I don't know how fond he is of wanting to take this post.
10 seconds.
If he 4-bets, it might as well be a 4-bet click perhaps, or a 4-bet jam. I'd like to see maybe something larger.
All in.
Yes, he does go all in because Guillaume's just got the 22 bigs behind. He's going to see ace king suited once more. And we are just flipping here. It would usually be 50-50, but we've seen a folded ace pre-flop, as well as some missing diamonds from the deck. So, and it's a queen high flop. He's now got to fade one of 4 jacks in the deck. No heart to worry about with the queen of hearts in his hand. And we lose Guillaume there. Just a cooler, not much you can do. Ace, king suited, you're going to win those half the time,
Not the heart. Yeah, yeah, 3 out.
pending your outs being live, and on that occasion, not the case. And not much you can do when your opponent flops top set.
I don't know where he went before.
So GG's in the chat there for Guillaume as he exits the main event here at the King's Room Sydney Millions.
Yeah, they were in the room when I came in. Yeah. Outside. Oh, hang on, no, maybe that was one table. They were on break.
We have a new addition to the table in seat 7, Alex Don.
Two calls.
And he gets a warm welcome as he gets to look down at pocket sevens. And immediately pumping up the price to 11,000. Ali 𝗣𝗢𝗬𝗢𝗧 there with the suited connectors in the small blind. Could be tempted to come along, but makes a disciplined fold, and high key with ace queen. You would imagine he's got to be 3-betting this. With the chip lead, you want to be putting pressure on your opponents, but does elect to just call. Waiting to see a flop and see how it results for him. And he finds an ace high board, but it's all diamonds. We can see Alex there, the only player with a diamond, but he's going to hate seeing 3 overcards. As high key checks it over to him. And look at those percentages, still pretty fair. Despite high key flopping the top pair. Largely thanks to that diamond in Alex's hands. And he does decide to c-bet. Does high key find a raise here? Is he worried by those diamonds? He's got to feel that his ace is best a majority of the time. Could obviously be up against ace-king here.
23,000.
And he raises to 23,000, and Alex might just have to let go of this on this board. But if he's played with high key before, he knows that high key could be doing this with a wide variety of hands. Could have perhaps some Jack 10 that finds this line. Some better diamonds with a draw. But plays it safe and lets go in ultimately what is a good fold. And high key, as you'll see there, nearing 200 big blinds. Well clear of the best, of the second best stack rather. Hello to our viewers just tuning in now. This is day 2 of the Sydney Millions main event. Thanks to King's Premium Poker Room here at the wonderful St George Leagues Club in Kogarah. I'm Chris Waddy, your anchor, riding solo at the moment. All the notable names in the room are currently playing events, so too busy to come in and guest commentate, but certainly deeper in the day we'll have some expert analysis. But for now, you are stuck with me as I do my best to provide some insight, but largely here to entertain our viewers and to be informative as to what else is going on around the room. We still have just over an hour to go until we close out entries for the 450 big stack. 50k guarantee beaten. Rojo open till 7 p.m. 60k start stack. 25-minute levels. And in that one, the prize pool has just ticked over 55,000. 143 entries. As we pay attention to what's going on here, Cameron Chen opening the Queen Jack off, and Ali there with the 10s. Should be 3-betting a lot of the time and does so here. It's a hand that does want some protection. It's not a lot of great flops for 10s, so he wants to put the money in pre and charge a price, and I don't imagine Queen Jack offsuit is going to want to go heads up out of position here against a 3-bet. So he does make a good fold. Ali there with 36 bigs. Plenty of playability with this structure. It's a phenomenal structure. These players are now enjoying 60-minute levels. So playability is the name of the game. It's been the theme all week with all the events. Great structures, player-friendly games here, thanks to King's Room. And the team, Natan and Mark, just wanting what's best for their clients and customers. And everyone, no one would be complaining about how deep these stacks are. Like I said, average stack, like I said, is dipping down just a little bit. Rather consistently moving up. 293k, which is good for just shy of 60 bigs. 58.6 big blind average stack.
Thank you.
What a structure. In about 6 minutes, the blinds will rise to 3,000, 6,000. As we look here at this pot between Michael and Clive, blind on blind. Classic encounter, and Clive just locks up this board easy as you like. Just has a boat and he's praying for a 7 on this river. If you knew what Michael had. But he's going to get absolutely no value unless Michael decides to have a stab at this. which I highly doubt. Unless Michael wants to win this pot, this is the only way he can do it. Oh, he's going to go for it. He has a bet. He's going to be met with a raise, and I don't think Michael will be able to fold his cards fast enough. Question is, how much does Clive just click it here or hope that he's got an ace or a queen that he's up against to maybe get a bit of value? Even so, a queen's not going to be paying off too much as he reaches out for chips and bumps it up to 55, and here comes the fold from Michael. Unless he decides to 3-bet this on the river, but I really doubt that. Michael's just going to let that go. Yep. Took a moment to think, maybe I can re-raise as a bluff, but thankfully for his sake, given what he was up against, absolute monster there for Clive. Sixes full of aces. Clive takes down another one. 80 big blinds now in his possession, and he moves into the second big stack status. He's got 408,000. No one else on the table's got any more than 300k. So High Key stands alone at the top with the 959,000. Clive is next with 408.
Came out of my hand.
Then you got to go all the way down to 289. What a disparity between chip leaders, at least at this table. What we mentioned earlier, Jamie did his update at the break a little over an hour ago, and High Key at the time was the tournament chip leader.
One raises 15,000.
Too big.
Coming into this hand, High Key opens pre-flop. Again goes with that 3 big blind sizing. Inviting Michael Levy to come along with a pair on the button. But the big blind there can't really defend. He did announce too big as he cleared the way. And what a flop this is, because it's a pair for High Key. And Michael's up and down with a straight draw. Not loving those overcards there and seeing his nines more as blockers to a straight. With the value in that regard proving better than the pair that it's got. Or the pair that it is, rather. Hi there. Not loving that turn card. Does decide to check. As the board pairs, there's still a jack out there. He's ace-10. Downgraded once more. But we can see it's still better than the pair of nines for Michael, who now takes the betting lead. It's hard to see High Key folding. It wouldn't be a bad fold if he did. Again, not loving the jack, not loving the paired eights, but he's going to pay to see a turn, a river rather. He's going to pay off the turn bet. Oh, and now he's feeling good. He's feeling very good. Is he just snap checked? Michael snap checked back, and High Key shows the 10 on the river. He was ahead the whole way though. Michael does let it go into the muck. Didn't find the straight outs that he was looking for.
When you're folding, I can see your cards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just let you know.
Can you don't hit the river? Every time you hit the river.
I should re-raise three.
Michael, they're saying that maybe he should have re-raised pre.
anyways, but he called.
At 16, and then you put another 11.
Call anyways, doesn't matter.
You can hear the commentary of Andrew Voss in the background as New Zealand take on Tonga, and I'm getting my updates on the score from the background noise from this table microphone. Just hearing that the score is 30 points to 8 in favour of the Kiwis. And I heard that Dylan Brown's having a day out, so there's your rugby league update.
3,000 and 6,000 with a 6,000 big blind ante next hand.
And also, speaking of background noise in the table mic, we can hear TD Pat Russell announcing the blinds are up next hand. So we'll be seeing the blinds move to 3,000, 6,000 with a 6,000 big blind ante. But in the final hand before that happens, Alex Don upgrades from the 7s he had earlier. Up a pip to the 8s that he finds here. And takes it down with no contention. And high key as a result of that previous hand.
Yeah, I kept hearing.
Gets above the 1 million chip mark.
I kept the ante.
I could say with confidence that he's the first player in this tournament to do so. How about that? With roughly a fifth of the field remaining. Actually, it's exactly a fifth of the field remaining. If my math serves me correctly, 460 divided by 92 is spot on 5. Absolutely. 20% of the field remaining precisely, and still, up until 2 seconds ago, had 200 big blinds. That is absurd. Absurd. More a credit to the structure than anything. And high key not going to get involved with that one with the 4-2 offsuit. Once again, say hello in the chat, please. Unless you've set your phone up, you're watching on the stream and you're relaxing and your hands are covered in twisties residue and you don't really want to type anything on your phone to get it dirty, so that's fair enough. But would love some interaction in the chat as I await our first guest commentator at some point later on. But blind on blind action here. Hannah limping from the small with quite a friendly hand. Queen jack off, very playable. Wouldn't have minded a raise, but Alex Don with the King 5 suited uses it as an opportunity to pile on the aggression and make some decent hands fold. He did have the best hand there, but you'd argue that the Queen Jack a little bit more playable than the King 5 of diamonds. As Amanda taps out after dealing for us for the past hour. And Alex Hansen, the man himself, multi-faceted talent here as both dealer and TD. Ever reliable. As again, the blinds just went up a moment ago to 3,000, 6,000, so those stacks in terms of big blinds all dropped a little bit. So Alex Don, despite winning a pot with those 8s in that hand before the blinds went up, still has 22 bigs. Still Yinting as the short stack on this table, but 20 big blinds is plenty to work with. So again, a phenomenal structure here at the King's Room Sydney Millions main event. Down to 92 final runners. We'll go through some recent eliminations. I'll get you some names of some players that are no longer with us. You can call this the In Memoriam segment. Need a slideshow with some sad music as we see names like Daniel Enright, Daniel Ayo, Guillaume Mouton earlier on this table. Pratik Mehta gone, Peter Robertson gone. Mike Larson, we saw his elimination. Travis O'Grady has recently hit the felt. Jack Sweet, half of the Sweet Twins clan. He's out. 100th place he was. 𝗣𝗓𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗧𝗦 out in 102nd. Short time ago, Michael Sleeman. Craig Blight, unfortunately, was out in 110th place. Cooper Felton out in 116th. Karambahi. Our very own dealer, Atimtai, who won 2 satellites, rather, into the event. He won a satellite, played the main event, one of the flights, busted, jumped into another satellite, won it, jumped into the main event, found a bag, got up to 200k at one point today, and busted a short time ago. So, unfortunate for him. Timon Prill also gone. Henry Tran out a fair while ago now, as was Josh Baraba. Kleber Piccione, who I can see here is also watching our stream. Gary Benson, Sean Zammit, all gone. Fletcher Smith, our Colossus champion. Surya, our Players Champs winner. And Didier, who was hoping to get into the booth at some point. He registered for the main event today. There was, of course, entries open until the first 2 levels of day 2 today. As we'll turn back to this hand here with Hannah with a pair and a flush draw, and manages to get High Key to fold an ace. High Key folding the best hand. Shows the capacity for a bit of discipline there, but backfiring, as we can see, it was the winner. Obviously, Hannah, they're still out to a variety of helpful river cards. 2 pairs, trips, or a flush. That could have worked for her. Noel Jaber out in 144th place quite a while ago. He did have a request for me. It was my partner and media photographer extraordinaire Jamie Hall that kicks off our stream, giving us some narration around the room. He's a little more in tune with what's going on than I am. I'm tucked away here in this box, and Jamie's out there on the floor seeing everything as it happens. So Jamie did the intro for the stream, but Noel requested that in the intro, if I did it, that I quote unquote, "This game is nonsense," he said. I forgot the name of the player that knocked him out, actually. There was a complaint against a particular player for knocking him out of the tournament. So, Noel, I've done as you requested, and now I can put out the disclaimer that this game is not nonsense. It's one of the best structures you'll ever find. It's a great event, great environment, great dealers, great staff, great everything. Speaking of great, Ace Jack of Diamonds, pretty great. As Hannah bumps it up, goes with a nice 3-bet sizing here of 35,000, inviting enough to get a hand to call out a position, depending on what that hand is. And King Jack offsuit, we'll see what Michael decides to do with it here as it comes back around to him. 2.2 bigs was the price, now it's 5.8, so not too high. We can see he's dominated. But at that price, Hannah's made it inviting enough to get a call from a far worse hand, as she will be winning this 3/4 of the time, rather. She won't hate that flop with a gutty to a straight as well as a backdoor flush draw. Michael also with a gut shot to a straight in his possession, and he'll see those 2 overcards and maybe feel comfortable to come along for 1 straight depending on the sizing, but it's a large sizing, thereabouts the half pot mark. Just a little bit over half pot with that 45,000, and at that size it's hard to come along. So it's a wettish board, obviously highly connected, so sizing up is often all right there. And again, we can see the card, so if Hannah could see what Michael's hand was, she would have bet possibly much smaller, probably half that amount, looking more at quarter pot to string him along with a gut shot, but not paying that price to go any further with the King-Jack offsuit there, Michael Levy. However, the sizing from Hannah pre-flop, very nice.
Two folds. Three folds.
𝗣𝗔𝗬𝗢𝗢𝗢, also a recent addition to this table. And with 11 big blinds and Queen Jack in his possession, he elects to move all in, and now Yinting in the low jack with a interesting decision to make. He's got definitely a hand that can call, but he's got a few players behind him and he's only got the 20 bigs himself, so I don't see a flat here. He might have to re-jam, but again, you're not loving ace-10 here with a few players behind you left to act still, but might just have to go with it. He's going to give it some thought. Could go either way. The way his hands are poised, it looked like he was about to fold, and he does. So he's going to look back at that and possibly regret it unless the blinds wake up with a monster here. Ali not so much with the Queen 3-0 and high key with the Jack 7 off, so pretty safe to say that if Yinting was in the blinds or one of the last players to act, he probably would have been more comfortable coming along with the ace-10 suited there. But a nice little pick up there for 𝗣𝗢𝗢𝗢.
Very close.
He needed that.
If I got big stack, I call already.
There we go. Yinting saying if he had a big stack, he would call already, but he's got a short stack, so
If
obviously...
I run loose and then it's a flip, I think.
Well, he reckons it's a flip, but
Good kick.
he's just said he had an ace, good kicker. Obviously not lying there.
Nah, dude, I will know soon. I mean, yeah, so you can tell me. You can tell me.
Four folds. Five folds. Six folds. Seven folds. Eight raise. 13. 9 folds. 1 fold. 13.
Cameron Chen bumps up the action with the ace-deuce offsuit. Michael Levy in the big blind with the 7-4 suited. Definitely a hand you can defend the big blind with. Can flop flushes, can flop straights, can flop straight flushes. And likely to be live against a pre-flop raiser, but you can see he's only up against one overcard with Cameron. So Michael there, happy to peel a flop, but might not go much further on that board. Cameron there, I want to be continuing here a lot of the time as he does contain a lot of King X in his opening range. So this bet will go good enough to fold, and Michael does let it go as expected, and well played by Cameron. A lot of players would see ace-deuce and then that kind of flop and slow it right down, but correctly finding a seed bet. And Michael there, unable to continue. So again, thanks for tuning in, all our viewers here. It's been a wonderful series so far, and it's hard to believe there's only one day to go after this, and what a day it will be. There's the closing event on at 5:30 p.m, 250 buy-in, 10K guarantee. Record prize pool of that one, 17K. But all eyes will be on our stream from approximately 6:20 p.m. tomorrow night as a 6 o'clock resumption of play for the main event. Whoever remains from tonight will come back then. And we see Yinting with the ace-5 of diamonds, comfortable open, and Cameron Chen in the hijacked. If he's happy to open ace-deuce off, he'll be willing to 3-bet a hand like jacks, and we'd like to see that sizing maybe around the 35k mark, maybe about 30,000. 31, right in the middle, thereabouts. 31k, lots to like about that one. 5.2 bigs, pretty good. And ace-5 of diamonds here can invite a re-raise. Now Yinting could elect to 4-bet jam this hand. It is a popular choice for the 4-betters amongst the poker community. He's going to think this over. I don't see many clicks in his 4-betting range. I think from out of position, we want to just be putting all the chips in the middle. He's going to use up a time bank chip. I have a feeling we're going to see these chips be slid forward and an all-in triangle alongside it, unless you can really sniff out that Cameron's pretty strong here. So I don't really like a call in this spot. I see this as a jam or fold, and he elects to fold, and a great fold at that. A lot of strong players would be finding a 4-bet in that position, but good on Yinting for letting go of that one.
Tell me now. I will know soon. Tell me.
He's had to make a couple of big folds now, Yinting. He's not loving it. He had to let go of his ace-10 suited. He said if he had a bigger stack, he would have called, and surely if he was in a later position, he would have called. Just 90 players left now in this main event. $805,000 in the prize pool. First place prize of $178,500. Lots to play for. Not only money, but glory. But it won't come easy and it won't come quick. There is an absolute grind ahead of us, if it hasn't been already. And it certainly has. Not too many eliminations since the stream began because everyone is deep. Average stack still around that 50 big blind mark. And Ali there with his jacks, also taking it down pre-flop. No customers.
Big pair that one, eh? Yeah, the big pair.
Hannah there finding pocket nines under the gun, and she's going to be met with zero resistance as none of the other players waking up with any sort of calling candidates, and she's going to still hover around those top 3 stacks. 13 chips on this table and still above the average stack at the moment amongst the rest of the tournament. Plenty of contenders here amongst this field. I can also tell you who's still remaining in the tournament of some of the notable names. Jamie Hall opened our stream with an update of the top stacks around the room as of the previous break.
2 4. 3 4. 4 4. 5 4. 6 4. Heads up.
That stack update from Jamie had high key at the top of the counts. He had 778 at the time. He just got above the million mark a little bit earlier, but back down to 972. Absolutely still piles. Robert Demelian had 728,000 at that same time. Adam Agresta in amongst the top counts in third place at the time with 688. Nerlin Bibikov had 554. Stephen Jurgis with 499. Every one of those stacks at the time was about the 100 big blind mark or above. Some other big names in that field still remaining. Loy Abdo's there. Yang Lee. Can never write him off in events like this. Kenny Wang as well. Absolute crushes, those two. 𝗣𝗢𝗬𝗢𝗧𝗦 in the field. Gavin Ogilvie, Mark Yazbek, Rob Demelian, of course, we mentioned just before.
13. 3 4.
Mike O'Grady, Michael Fraser. In the background of the stream, you can see his head popping out now and then. Oliver Corrie, Sam Capra. Lu Heng Wang winning a tournament just a couple of days ago here. Marianne Crane, Uno Arca, Chris Petrie still in amongst the mix. And Chad Averbach.
Yeah.
Averbach. I think he needs to remind me how to pronounce it in the native tongue. We'll just say Chad. Everyone knows who Chad is. Well, let's tune into this flop as Alex defends the 10-9 suited from the big blind and could be in some trouble on this board as he's got a backdoor straight flush draw, backdoor flush draw, gutty to the straight, but Michael here with top. So this will go bet call, potentially a raise here from Alex if he wants to get dicey, but I think he's got enough equity to realise he's playing off a short stack, so he'll just peel a turn card. There's a lot of good turn cards that could come for him. A lot of bricks too. Not quite a brick, but certainly a card that Michael Levy's going to love. And that also could spell trouble for Alex. A repeating jack on the turn means it's less likely your opponent has one, and he might be feeling a little bit better with that 10 in his hand. So we'll see what Michael does here. A pot of 69,000 in front of him, and
37.
he's bet large, and I don't mind this. Because usually if you've got a jack, you might want a better sizing that strings people along, but with a big bet, Alex is going to run with that 10. And he's going to need some help on this river. 2 8s were folded earlier on in the hand, so he's got to find a 2-outer here. 93% of the time, Michael Levy will scoop this pot, and we will lose Alex, but we need to see a river first. It's a 6 of diamonds. Not quite what Alex was looking for. Went for the play, and that big sizing from Michael on the turn potentially has paid off. Probably gave an indication that he wasn't as strong as he actually was. And Alex tried to run with it. And GG's to him.
Luckily, I didn't show.
Thinking about it, huh?
Yeah, I got aces.
I was going.
I got aces earlier. Dominated. You dominated.
I just turned the microphone off while I sneezed, guys, so if everyone could say bless you, that would be great. I'm joking. I've had no one partnering me in the commentary box for about an hour and a half now, so it's getting delirious in here. But this is exciting. Pocket aces for Michael Levy from middle position. And pocket jacks with Yinting. He's going to be looking at some trouble here as he looks at his last 15 bigs in the cutoff. Pocket jacks, I don't see anything but a jam as the option here, and he does. Hannah with a jack in her hand that she lets go of. That's not good for Yinting. And Michael is going to love this string of hands he's had. Ace jack with the top pair, finding trips and busting a player, and he could do it back to back here. Aces versus black jacks with a jack already folded. Oh, the case jack comes on the flop. Still outs for an ace or a king or a 10.
10 is on.
Oh no, not a 10. 10 won't do it because there was a boat there for Yinting, and he's found the case jack on the flop. Wow, the one outer. For all money, you would have thought that Michael Levy was going to be picking up back-to-back bust outs, back-to-back pots, but instead he's crueled.
Be careful, me. Be careful. What?
Wow.
Just joking.
Well, that was an action hand.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I know. Last time you got ace jack, and this time aces.
Ace jack's better than aces.
Just a small pot, 15 big blinds.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
Enough that it hurts. Well, they all hurt. Huh?
High key here, really thinking about this with a6 offsuit. He hasn't played a hand in a little while. And I think discipline there eventually finds his way to make the fold. Really just sat there looking at an ace going, oh, it's been a while. I want to get involved, but under the gun with ace 6-0, not quite the most prime of opportunities to do it with. But Erdin there looks at 10s from the low jack, puts his last remaining 11 big blinds into the middle. And not going to find any action from the small blind. And Ali there won't be able to justify a call with the queen 9-0. And Erdin gets it through, picks up a few extra chippies in his direction. Hannah there opening from the cutoff with the queen 8-0, and Cameron there on the button with the queen jack just decides to make the call. And high key with jack 6 off, hard to justify a call with that one. even in the big blind, and even if you're high key. Jack 6-0, as I like to call it, the worst hand in short deck. It's the 7 deuce equivalent in the game that only has the cards 6 or higher. But high key finds the call there with the Jack 6 off. Easier to justify a fold when you can look at the cards and see that he's crushed by the Queen Jack. And funnily enough, he's the only one with a spade in this hand, but don't know how highly he's going to value that. But this will check through on the flop, I imagine. Expect a check from high key. Hannah might continue here with this king high board, but nope, she does check, and Cameron could either have a stab at this in position or just check it as well, as expected. Checks through on the flop. Turn card, a 3. So now high key has got a fair bit of equity here. He's open-ended with a flush draw, and I think a bet he's going to do the job. Hannah can't call and Cameron cannot call, and high key's going to scoop this one from a hand that would ordinarily not be defending from the big blind in that exact context. Works out well for him. Okay, now I'm begging. Please leave a message in the chat. Say hello. Is anybody there? Getting lonely here, but loving the action, I am for sure. I'll check the YouTube chat, see if anyone's talking there. No one on Facebook. Here we go. What is average stack, says someone on YouTube. Josh O'Brien. Excellent question. Let me tell you. Roughly 330,000. I'll do the exact maths in a moment. It's 26,600,000 chips in play. Divide that by 84. 328,500. So we can see there that high key's got more than triple that amount. And again with the blinds at 3,000, 6,000 currently as we approach the break. Average stack still 55 big blinds. 55 big blinds, average stack. What a structure. Why didn't I play this event? And if you didn't play this event, you should be asking yourself the same question. What a game.
Yeah.
Another comment in the YouTube live chat. Who is Clive Guy? Looking cute. I'll tell you what, if I had 65 big blinds in front of me, I'd be feeling pretty cute as well, as I finally have a guest commentator next to me. Hallelujah. Welcome to the booth, Mr. 𝗣𝗓𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗧𝗦.
Hello, Chris.
Good to have you with me.
You've been on your lonesome.
I have been for a little while. Did you hear me in the chat pleading for...
No, I didn't.
You just intuition brought you here.
I did.
Beautiful. How are you feeling with the success of everything in that room?
Actually, the reason why I wanted to come in is just really just a big thank you to all the support that we've had from the players. Obviously, we did have a bit of a sweat in the main overnight.
Yeah.
But
a lot
luckily,
of day 2 entries.
Yeah, luckily day 2 entries got us over the line, and it's a record-breaking prize pool for Kings in total. Actually,
wow.
The largest ever single-day prize pool that we've... Oh, the largest ever prize pool.
Yeah.
Not single
Any
day.
event ever?
Yeah, so
looking to break series records as well. I
Definitely,
imagine.
yeah. So it was an ambitious series from a guarantee point of view. It was something that we wanted to take on, and we're kind of really proud with how it's all turned out, and obviously culminating with the main 805k prize pool. So yeah, we're stoked.
Absolutely nailed it there. I'll just bring attention to a great play there from Michael Levy, jamming with a flush draw on the turn and getting the better hand to fold. Scary board for 9s, but again, aggression is key in these games, and we just saw Michael Levy earlier win a hand with Ace-Jack on a board of on a board of Jack-10 Jack again against a player with a 10, knocked him out, and then the next hand he gets aces up against pocket jacks. There was a jack folded.
Right.
And of course a jack hit on the flop.
Okay, so Levy's been busy.
Yeah, so Levy's been busy and found a nice play there, and he's got every reason to feel a little annoyed after his aces got cracked, but he's just in the zone, still plugging away very nicely. So
I don't know if you know this, but Levy's nickname is actually 𝗣𝗢𝗢.
That's right. We had some comments in the chat saying he's the only player in Australian history to have a 𝗣𝗢𝗢 over 100%.
He does like to play hands. So
yeah,
I'm not surprised that he's getting involved in many.
He's getting the hands to do it with, so no one's going to be blaming him here. And if there's anyone on this table that likes to 𝗣𝗢𝗢, it is actually High Key there in seat 1. An absolute treat to have him on our feature table. He's an absolute entertainer.
So these boys are playing lots of post.
Absolutely.
Post time, I'm assuming.
High's been pretty disciplined. He has been card dead for a little while. But hands like 8-6 offsuit on the button. Some days he likes to play it, and on this day he's really locked in. He's got the chip lead, but that's not giving him license to go crazy. He's locked in. He's playing pretty well. He was second in the APL Million main event last year for about 400,000.
Okay.
Pops his head in and around some of the Australian scene, and it's actually cool to see him here.
Yeah, first time in the room. I don't recognise the name at all, so
yeah,
good to have him.
So
Michael's Levy's making a play with one of his favourite hands, 8-4 suited.
Yep.
And gets it through.
So I think there's an error there with the graphics. High Key did fold. It says that he was the one that raised to 18,000. So we'll get that fixed up for you. Worry not. Matthew Marshall been doing a great job to this point. Again, Jamie helping the production value of the stream, adding in these videos of around the room or live bust outs. Absolutely top-notch stuff from the both of them. So keep giving them a shout out, as well as you and Mark for just putting such a tremendous event together. I keep telling people the average stack, it's hovering around that 55 big blind mark, which is outrageous at this point of a tournament.
Yeah.
Less than 20% of the field left, and still 50 bigs on average at your disposal. And when you've got a chip leader that's got 163 big blinds, he'd be feeling pretty good about this structure. So again, Yinting here under the gun with ace-10 off. He's been pretty disciplined. Got rewarded with that one-outer with his jacks against Michael Levy's.
Oh, it's a good fold, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Hannah's working up with one better.
Absolutely. So there's a good element to his game. It's been good to watch him navigate these spots.
Well, look at that disciplined fold, 10-8 of cards.
Those are the hands that I would be expecting High Key to throw his chips in the middle.
Especially in position.
Absolutely. So High Key, he's been giving Hannah a lot of credit.
Yeah.
She's been actually fairly involved. So you can't think of her as being too tight, perhaps, but there's one hand that he folded where he had the better hand, and he had an ace. He folded top pair, and Hannah had a flush draw and a worse pair and bet him off the hand, which I thought was
So he must have a pretty neat gear change in him.
Different game plan to what we usually see. He's in some interviews that we've had with High Key in the past, there's one word that sticks out from him the most, and it's gamble, gamble. Actually, I just said that twice. He never says it once. He says it twice. Just gamble. Right. Yeah.
I'm sure we'll hear it at some station tonight.
It's gamble in brackets X2. Gamble, gamble. So you're feeling more relaxed now. 750k guarantee, ended up getting 805,000.
Yeah, definitely feeling some relief for sure. A bit of, as it so happens, it's the nervous energy that keeps you going, and then suddenly a bit of a release, so you feel a little bit flat. So I'll definitely be picking myself up a coffee pretty shortly.
Yeah, I'm not too
far
behind
you. Happy to get you one as well.
I'll take you up on that often at time. It's good. Been stuck in this booth, but loving it here. And
we're going to get some action here for sure. Levy is not going anywhere with King Queen.
No. And it's such a large size from High Key. He's been going, when he's played, he's been opening 3x. It's more been opening in proportion to his stack, and because of those sizings,
It's hard as the 3-bet.
it's harder to 3-bet.
Yeah.
So Michael had a hand where he had 9s against High Key. High Key had ace 10, and the board was Jack 10-8. So Michael was open-ended. High Key had second pair. The board was a repeating 8. Action slowed down a bit. And then 10 repeated on the river to give High Key a boat, but it went. He checked it to Michael, who also checked back. So could have been a larger pot, but Michael didn't 3-bet that hand on the button because
It's such a
High
big
Key
bet.
was such a big bet. So he.
This will be first chips in the pot win it, you'd think.
You see High Key's face not really loving that board, and just immediately checks. And
I can't imagine Levs is going to miss this bet.
if High Key's showing a passive approach, it's usually time to strike, but he does allow a card to peel off on the turn. And if High Key checks once more, then surely Michael Levy has a stab at this. He had a heart working for him on the flop, but nothing there on this turn to improve him. He looks, that's a face that's given up, in my opinion.
You'd think so. I mean, easy to see with the cards, but
Easy to see with the cards, but just that facial expression and the body language not loving it. We'll see if he's balanced, if he's got that kind of expression in a bigger spot when he's got a hand. But to me, it's a look of disinterest. And so Michael's going to bet this, and we'll see how quickly High Key folds. If he elects to peel a river, that would be really interesting after
that was the bet I was
performance.
expecting
Yeah.
on the flop, to be honest. So
Yeah.
well
High
played
Key-
from Levs.
Yeah, absolutely. Position is key.
He probably just told him he had a jack.
I think High Key's just told him straight out he had ace 10. If I can lip read there. Couldn't hear him too clearly, but by the mouth, I think that's what we saw. We're approaching a half an hour dinner break, I believe. That'll be in approximately 20 minutes' time. So we'll find out if we're going to end the stream or keep it going. But regardless, it's been an entertaining first session, a variety of big hands, a fair few knockouts that we've had to witness. And of course, with such a deep structure, you're going to expect a bit of a grind, a bit of raising and lots of folding, waiting for their spots from a lot of these players. So as we get deeper and deeper, I think it's top 47 paid. So
Yep, 4K min.
$4,000 min cash, and still a while away from the money. This tournament's not moving quickly, so
No, well, we didn't expect it to. 60-minute blinds.
yeah, it's such a treat of a structure for these players to enjoy.
I mean, with the 30 bigs buying in on day 2, it can be a 2-day tournament for a lot of the players that have bought in on today.
Yep.
Because they're buying in for 30 bigs, they kind of eliminate the need to play a flight. Though I suppose there's an argument for both. We have so many players that love to play the first hand of the first flight and then, try to build up their stack, or some just...
Exclusively max late reg.
That's right, happy to... I am finding that less people are inclining to just do max late reg. They might, come in halfway through a flight, or they might, enter early on day 2 just to give themselves at least some opportunity to build up a stack rather than just to, just to flip it.
But what's good about not max late regging, but if you're buying at the start of day 2, is that you still have 30 big blinds at your disposal. So it's still such a friendly structure. Sometimes you get some tournaments where max late reg is 15 bigs or 12 and a half bigs or something like that, or 13.3, anything along those marks. But still max late reg is 20, I'm pretty sure, if you max lated or close enough to it.
It was 3K, I believe. Yeah, 20 bigs.
Yeah. So pretty excellent for those players that do like to just exclusively wait until lockout.
Well, it means that you've minimized your potential losses, right? There's no opportunity for you to rebuy,
which is obviously not great from an operator standpoint. But
we're happy either way.
As long as players play within their means, that's the main thing. So don't want people to go in over their heads. So some people are aware of that, and that's why they max late reg. And when you've got 20 big blinds and 60-minute levels,
You've given yourself
You
an
give yourself a
opportunity at
chance,
least.
yeah. Thank you in the chat. Someone said bless you because I sneezed 20 minutes ago, so thank you very much. And again, this is what I'm going to see at fair bit of folding, and Michael here with the ace-9-0 in early position, and he's lining up a raise. Mr. V-Pip himself, as you said.
Well, not very aggressive behind him, so...
No, that's fair play to him. So if I'm Clive here, and I'm knowing what Michael's like, I'd like a 3-bet with the ace-2 suited, but obviously maybe just a bit too wide to continue. It's hard to call as well because there's still a few players to act behind you. It's the worst ace, and again, that's why he does decide to let it go, but someone that won't be letting it go. Yeah. This will be a 3-bet. He's got 11 bigs.
Yeah,
so
this will probably just be all of it, yeah.
Absolutely. Right, there it goes into the middle.
Levy's probably just about priced in, I guess.
Oh, it's
Make
tight.
a bad call there.
Nah, I'm going to say he folds this. It's just a...
Oh,
never
he's
mind.
definitely
folding. Well, the question is, if you're Hannah and you've got Michael there that's opened early, do you
I mean,
flat?
flatting looks super strong, right?
Yeah, but also jamming might be too big or 50 bigs. You might, especially
I don't think she's
considering-
getting any action of Levs either way, right?
Oh, she's announced all in. It's a large bet, and if Michael did have a monster like queens or probably queens or tens, I think tens can find a fold here, but if it was queens or ace king or ace queen, we'd be seeing a crazy spot for Michael to consider with such a large stack, but need not worry, as ace-9 offsuit is surely fine enough to easily fold, and 𝗣𝗏 needs some help here. We saw Jack spike a set earlier on when at risk, and it was the case, Jack. Need a similar story here as Hannah looks set to take in a nice little pot and find a knockout, pending a safe river card. And it is. We do lose 𝗣𝗏 Ibrahim. Again, quite unlucky to wake up in that spot with jacks after an early open, thinking you're going to get it through, but you run into kings, and Hannah Lee, now
Jumps
second
up to
chip
70
leader.
bigs.
Yeah. Is there obviously Michael Levy, long-time supporter of the room, joined us in commentary the other day, got the King's Room hoodie on as well.
Yeah.
Paraphernalia is being worn. Favoritism aside, mate, what would we say, excluding Michael, have you got a favorite at the table or someone that's also been a long-time supporter of the room?
To be honest, the entire table I'm very familiar with, besides...
Probably High Key.
Yeah, besides High Key, they're all regulars.
Ali's a regular.
Ali,
yeah.
Cam, Yintang.
Yep.
Hannah's been playing quite a lot lately.
Yeah.
She's a lovely girl.
Yep.
She seems like she's the favorite on every table she plays. She has a great relationship with most of the guys around and girls, of course.
Yeah. She's playing well, so that's one thing, and she's got a solid stack at her disposal also. And High Key here with Queen Jack off under the gun. I think he's gonna, given the way he's been playing, wouldn't surprise me to see him
Just
fold.
folds, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's been doing. It just doesn't seem like he wants to get involved at all.
Again, as much as we joke about his excitability and how funny he is to watch, and he's a very likable character. If you have a conversation with him, he's always upbeat, he's always
High
friendly,
energy.
high energy, so he's in a serious mode at the moment, so he has elected to find a raise here, and again, that's that large sizing. He's just gone up around that 3 big blind mark, which, again, if he gets 3-bet here, he loses more chips.
That's
because
right,
he can't
yeah.
really continue with Queen Jack off, so especially from that position. But it folds around to the blinds, and King 7 suited finds a snap fold. If it was in the big blind, we'd see it defend, but ace 3 off against a gun raise. You're not loving it, but you don't want to be folding that hand too often when you're getting such a good price with an ace in the big blind. One big blind, well, actually, still a couple big blinds more to see a flop.
Yeah, but now what do you do with ace 3, right?
Yeah.
That's a great flop for Queen Jack
Yeah, it's also
to c-bet.
it's not a board that's terrible for the ordinary big blind range,
Sure.
but again, he's just playing his hand as it is, giving credit to the undergun raiser.
So Adam Khalid's just joined the table, another regular,
Oh, yeah?
long-term regular actually now. He's probably been at least 10 years
Oh, well.
playing our games, yeah. It's great to see so many familiar faces.
Absolutely. Now, I believe there's 10 minutes left to register that 450 big stack.
That one's gotten pretty big too. I think it was about 70k
Wow,
last
it
time I
was
checked.
55 and
63.
63,000, and the record for that one was around the same mark. Yeah, 63,570. You're one entry away from equaling it.
I reckon we're odds on to get that one, right?
Yeah, with
half an hour left.
yeah, so half an hour left to register. It says here 7, but I believe it's at the end of the break.
At the break, yes.
So still half an hour. That is 7:20, guys, to get yourself into that big stack. That's a 450 buy-in with 25-minute levels and a 60k start stack. Pretty excellent structure at that price point, so do not miss out. If you bust from the main, still an option to jump into that one.
As well as the 𝗣𝗨𝗧𝗦 bomb.
Yes, so we've figured it out. It's alternating between 𝗣𝗨4 and 𝗣𝗨5, and where there's an ace-high flop.
Black ace flop.
Black ace flop.
Yeah, bomb flop.
Okay, and
Bomb
if there's
the next pop.
and if there's 2 black aces on the flop, then it's double board. I'm joking. You're all good. You're about to say correct. I was putting you on the spot. But yeah, no. If it's a black ace on the flop, the next hand is a bomb pot.
Yes.
So sounds like fun.
So Adams jumps straight into a raise. King Jack suited. Nice hand to raise at late position, and Ali's just jammed straight back on him.
Yeah, it's 24 bigs out of the small, so it's a large 3-bet, but again, out of the small blind, that's fair enough. Don't really want to be navigating post-flop too much.
Interesting shove on a brand new player, right? No idea what he's...
Yeah, that's true. So he's going to think about this. Obviously, he's flipping against some pairs, but he's dominated by a lot.
Yeah, hard to see him calling here.
Yeah, dominated by a lot of ace-king, king-queen, ace-jack.
He's just hoping for 8s, right?
Yeah. If anything, he might consider calling if he could see that his opponent had ace-10, but not for a 40 big blind pot. Not worth the risk. Wait for better spots. So, funnily enough, based on previous outs folded, he's ahead.
Yeah.
He had 55%.
You reckon he takes that flip if he knows that?
Oh, if he sees the percentages.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's still got, he's got, 20 bigs.
Still time to wait for a better spot.
Yeah.
Again,
I mean, if all they're looking for is a coin flip, then
you run it. But again, sometimes you don't want to be flipping when you know you have an edge later on in the tournament. So the players that have an edge often know they have an edge, and they make the decisions based off that. Others are happy to gamble. Some players know that they're not as good as other players, so they find higher variance spots.
That was the Jamie Gold method, right? When he won the WSOP, he's like, well, I don't want to play post-flop with these guys, I'm just going to shove.
Absolutely, it's the way to do it. If I ever jumped into a big event and I found myself heads up with a Lachlan Crilly or a Jared Thatcher, I'm just not gonna put myself in a position where
they're putting the pressure on.
I'll put it on them. And one thing about learning poker is the more you know, the more you realize you don't know.
Yep, like most things, I guess.
Yeah, but poker is one of those endless pits where you start off, it's the Dunning-Kruger effect kind of thing. Like when you first start playing, you don't know anything, and then once you know a little bit, you think you know everything.
Yeah.
And then you know a little bit more, and you're like, oh my god,
I know nothing.
Wow, I know nothing. Some of the conversations I've had with the players next to me have been so insightful. They point out situations that you never even dream of thinking about. Liam J, who told me of a hand with Michael Adamo on a short-handed final table. On the stone bubble, he raises to 2 big blinds. A short stack goes all in for 4 big blinds. And Adamo open folds ace-king suited. Reason being is so long as he's a big stack on the bubble, if he keeps the short stack in, the pressure is still on everyone else to survive. And it's just
you wouldn't even think about it, right? Yeah.
You just go, oh, I got ace-king, plays jammed, I got a call. Yeah. But the future game implications and the leveling and they're on another level. And Michael Adamo is Michael Adamo for good reason. I think he's the only big-name poker player in Australia, like big name amongst the Cale Burns and Daniel Nielsen's and Malcolm Trainers and all that, and Joe Hasham's that I've never crossed paths with.
Oh, really?
I've never seen him in person. Again, not something I'd lay awake at night going, whoa, is this not happening? It's just more fun fact.
Yeah.
I've met everyone else, seen everyone else across the tour, but it just shows the league that he's at. He's
Sure.
just constantly playing Triton tournaments and 100k buy-ins and that, because that's just
That's his level.
where his game is.
𝗣𝗦𝗧𝗦's looking interested in this raised pot from
Yeah.
Ali.
He's more than interested. He's fired a 3-bet, and it's a nice size. It's not too large. It's actually almost too small, so much so that King 8 has to consider a call here a lot of the time. I mean, Clive as well in the big blind, already one big in the middle, but does let it go because he's worried about how that hand can perform post-flop 3 ways in a 3-bet pot. So Ali, though, out of the cutoff, is looking at this price and going, well,
Hard to fold,
it's
right?
just too small to comfortably fold. I might have to call here. And
I mean, his
he
hand
does.
plays pretty decently
Yeah,
post-flop,
yeah,
so
there's
he's
far
definitely
worse
willing.
hands. Far worse hands to be involved with. I think we're just under 5 minutes away from reaching a break.
How much?
Pretty
And so-
great flop for sixes.
Yep.
It's just going to go c-bet fold, you think?
Yeah,
Has he gone all in? He's
Yeah.
gone all in.
That is putting pressure on. Well, there's not going to be many 5s that open call off. Unless it's ace-5 suited at best. So high key runs those odds, but it's an interesting play. It's almost too aggressive. You want to be
Well, I guess
stringing
he's
some
thinking
hands
to
along,
himself,
but
yeah, if he c-bets and gets raised, he's calling regardless. So he's like, oh, I may as well just put it in.
yeah, and also if any paint comes on the turn, any ace, any 10, any
Yeah.
picture card, he's not going to feel comfortable coming along.
That guy. They need security for your skip. Three people. Removalists.
So a reminder that in approximately 4 minutes time, our players will be on a 30-minute dinner break, but we are going to have a change of pace. We're going to have a new table coming in very shortly. With table 7, the selection for our next table. And wow, I'm looking at these names and get excited, ladies and gentlemen. In just about 7:30, you're going to see these names on your screen. You're going to have Kenny Wang, Yongxi, Gary 𝗣𝗢𝗨𝗧𝗦, Zhen Zhao, Ross Coveney, Gavin Ogilvie, and ready for these 3. Berkey himself, who was in the commentary box with me yesterday, Adam Burke from the You Can't Make It Up podcast, Michael Fraser, Popsy, will be in here as
The
well,
one and only.
and Mark Yazbek.
The Yaz. You're going to see some flops with Yaz.
You're going to be seeing plenty of action with that table incoming, so get excited, ladies and gents. 7:30, the stream will return. The names again: Kenny Wang, Gavin Ogilvie, Adam Burke, Michael Fraser, and Mark Yazbek. Exciting times ahead as we see Yinting get a 3-bet through from the blind on blind action. Clive bumps it up. Yinting makes it a little bit bigger. Takes it down comfortably. Pretty impressive with both players in the blinds waking up with an ace and able to get away from it pretty comfortably. But again, still a while away from the money, but you're at a stage where you still have plenty of chips to work with in such great structure. And we've got some interesting individual player stats
Yeah,
here.
I've not seen these stats before.
So high key 32% VPIP, which is lower than usual, and a pre-flop raise frequency of 16%. So
You'd expect higher from the overwhelming chip leader.
absolutely, but again, when you're card dead, you're card dead.
That's
but
true. But he has folded
he's had
pretty
some,
playable
yeah,
hands.
exactly. So there's two sides of the coin there, but couple hands to go before we reach our break time, I believe. High key here. Speaking
Surely
of
not
playing
folding this
hands,
one.
yep. He found ace queen of spades against aces in hand. It was open from high key, 3-bet from aces. High key calls. Flop is all low cards, 2 spades. Check from high key, c-bet, call. Turns a brick. C-bet, call. Rivers a spade. All
Of course
in,
it is.
call. Bye-bye aces. That was
Might get some resistance from Yinting.
Yeah, that was Michael Larson that busted with the ace.
Ah, sweet.
So Yinting here with suited connected holding, but again it's that 3 big blind mark from high key. That makes it so tough to come along, but Yinting's got some chips to work with. Yeah, 32 big, so if he was down to 20, we'd see probably him leaning towards a fold. And still, yeah, the way he grabs his cards. And Hannah won't be coming along with 9-5, so again,
disciplined fold from Yinting. I would have been very tempted to see a flop there. Hard to play out of position, I guess.
Yeah, and look, when you've got such premium hands in position, you do want to be raising a bit smaller. You do want to incentivize worse hands to call. You want to be heads up in position against worse hands. Yes, they're going to get just some of the time, but it's how you make money post flop. You got to hope your opponent hits, but you hit bigger.
That's right.
Anyway,
there's just so many good flops for 9-10 suited.
For 9-10 suited, yeah. Won't catch me folding that one too often, especially against high key. But again, we have seen a more disciplined approach from high key today.
Looks like this will be the last hand before the break. Everyone's taken off.
Yeah, before we go, Natan, already thinking about next year's Sydney Millions?
Not really,
Not
to be
yet.
honest.
We're giving away a few tickets for the main event.
Yes, we've started satelliting plays into next year's event. I'm pretty happy with this year's schedule. To be honest, I think it's had a really nice flow to it.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll look back and think of how we can improve it. And
player feedback is always something you guys take into account. Something you should get a lot of credit for. But again, we'll be heading straight to a half-an-hour dinner break at the close of this hand, and we'll be cutting off the stream. And remember, we'll be going to a new stream table. Table 7 is what we're getting with Kenny Wang, Yongshi, Gary DePaula, Zheng Zhao, Ross Coveney, Gavin Ogilvie, Adam Burke, Michael Fraser, and Mark Yazbek. This has been...
The Levs has opened with a suited ace and has had 3-bet from Clive, and he's been pretty tight. I think that Levs will probably want to see a flop in position.
But Clive there in the cutoff with the advantage positionally, and...
Well, there you go. I'm not even paying attention.
No, you're right. And ace-5 suited is a raise in the books, a 3-bet, a 4-bet, a 5-bet. And again, this has been Chris Waddy alongside Natan Melach, and this is day 2 of the no longer the mini main event, it's the big main event. It is the main show, day 2, 78 players remain, 47 will be in the money from a field of 460, 170 grand up top, 178 to be precise, from a total prize pool of more than 800,000. Stay tuned for more. We'll be back in half an hour. We'll see you back then. Thanks for tuning in.